2 years ago, Christo tried to help me increase my prices to $500 per hour. Did it work? Stay tuned to find out. Hey everybody, what is up? So it's been exactly 2 years ago that I had a conversation, kind of a consulting coaching call with Christo. You can watch it here. I've published it on my YouTube channel and it was pretty popular. And so recently I got this tweet from Don Crowley who said, hey, you did a YouTube video becoming a high value consultant with Chris 2 years ago, leaving the COVID-19 to one side. How did things change for you and how much you were able to make it happen? So I thought it would be a really great idea because so many things have changed in my life and business and earning and all of that. So let's break it down. Here's what I told Chris about where I was at kind of early to mid 2018. Tell you my situation and why I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do. So basically, I'm running two businesses. So one of them is a product business, which I run with a partner, developer partner, which is online proposals for freelancers. And we're bootstrapping that business. We just got it off the ground last year and it's doing good, but it's not enough to support us yet. And so I'm doing freelance, which I've been doing for like 15 years. And that's been going great. You know, I've been doing 200K last year. This year I'm looking at 300K. So it's going really, really good. But
fantastic.
Yeah, but it's also consuming like most of my time. So basically what I told Chris at the call was that I'm working 30 hours every week on my freelance business alone. And I want to have more time so that I can work on my product business, Prospero, online proposals for freelancers. That's basically the core of what I told him. And so we went ahead and do the calculation that in order for me to move from 30 hours per week on freelance to 15 hours, which is 50%, and would leave me 50% to work on my product business, I would have to make the calculations to actually charge $500 per hour. Now, here's how Chris understood my goal: to have more time and what I can do with it.
You can focus on different businesses. You can think about new things that you can create. You can spend time with your family, and I see that in your videos too.
Yeah.
And you want to basically move away from the guy on the box and be paid to be a consultant, to be paid for thinking. So you want to be paid for the high level stuff, and there's some challenges there. You want to also build a passive income business model through this productized business thing that you're developing, right?
Right.
And right now you don't have enough time to do that. This is the dream of all creatives, is to do something once really well and to make money from it for the rest of your life. And it's a wonderful dream to have, and it's not a dream if you know how to do it. And lastly, we mentioned a little bit about the YouTube channel, that at some point the YouTube channel, depending on your life ambitions, can exceed all other things, including the product business that you're building. Who knows?
Okay, so Chris mentioned that maybe my YouTube channel will be the biggest thing in my life, and I kind of dismissed it as a hobby that I do for fun. And the main takeaway from my YouTube channel might be, if I have a big audience, maybe I can travel and give speeches around the world. Now, basically, the assumption in this video is that if I want to make $500 per hour, I need to become a high-value consultant. And in that video, Chris gives me the framework for value pricing, how to diagnose for problems, and it's really amazing. You should definitely watch it. So here's what happened. Throughout the rest of the year, I tried to apply this framework of really trying to become the high-value consultant, and I have to say that it worked. What I actually ended up doing was to try to figure out where my biggest value lies. So I reached out to previous clients and started asking them what was the best thing about working with me and what I did to bring most value to them. And it ended up being the way that I managed the project, the way that I worked on strategy with them. And so based on that, I kind of invented a new role for myself, or actually a new value proposition, which I called the Virtual Chief Creative Officer. I have a few videos about that. You can look that up, or we'll link them below here. That's basically a new service that I created for startups where I will help them set up their creative team, set up their branding, set up their website, and basically basically I did that by managing the project and then outsourcing some of the deliverable to other people, and then also doing the hiring for them and building their design team by mentoring the new designer. And that value proposition ended up really increasing my hourly rate actually way beyond 500. Maybe we've reached $500. I don't remember all the calculation, because the truth is that during 2018, I didn't do the tracking of my hours well enough as I do these days and as I recommend all other freelancers. So I can't really calculate the hourly rate. I only started tracking my time with the software that I use right now, Timely, around July. And then I have really great calculations. So what happened was I was on my track to reach my goals and have more time to work on Prospero, but at the same time, as the time passed by, we realized that Prospero is actually not growing at all, and putting more time into it might not be the way to solve it. And so towards the end of the year, we started discussing selling the business there were a few people who were interested in buying it. And at the end of the year, we ended up actually selling it. Now, if you remember, what I was talking with Chris, I was talking about how to reduce my freelance so I can spend more time on that aspect. Once I had that, a little bit of a free time, what I ended up doing eventually was creating a Webflow course, which I didn't have, to be super honest, great kind of long-term plans for that, but people in my audience were requesting this, and I did this. And when it happened, it actually, which I worked on and I launched, I think, early September 2018, that thing really blew up and exploded. The demand and the reaction to that course were amazing. And so having worked on a product company, Prospero, for over 3 years and seeing it grow very, very slowly, and then launching something new to the market and seeing a huge spike in demand and reaction, I immediately understood that there is a very good kind of product market fit here, in the sense that my audience actually want this, and people are, really want this, are willing to pay for this, and they want it from me. And so what happened at the end of the year, I did cross the $300, $300K goal that I had for 2018. But when it came to 2019, I made kind of a shift, and I really decided to decrease the amount of hours on client work that I did, even beyond 15 hours per week. Basically in 2019, I only kept 1 or 2 clients for the whole year, and it was kind of like big website design projects. And so what happened, 2019 was actually a very interesting year, because a lot of things shifted in my mind, right? I think Chris mentioned in the video, as you've seen, that YouTube and creating content can become my source of income, and I was really dismissing that. And I think that I dismissed that for 2 reasons. One of them was I was very, very fixed on this kind of a dream of owning a tech company and running a tech company and being a product designer. That was a dream that because I live here in Tel Aviv, Israel, and I am a part of a big startup ecosystem, that this is what everybody else is doing. I think I was kind of really into that dream, and it was hard for me to shift to something else. And the other thing is, I think I had this vision about, creating courses and people who are, making courses and living off that I had something that I felt like I don't want to do this, right? I felt like maybe it's a fraud. Who am I to teach? Or I don't want to be this online guru or that kind of thing. And that feeling, that, I don't know if to say fear, but that resentment from that kind of a lifestyle held me back a lot from doing this. But once I did it in 2018 and I saw the results that it's getting to people and seeing the reaction that I did to people, it helped me to shift my mind as to, look, and Chris, to be honest, Chris wasn't the first one who's telling me, look, people love your YouTube channel. This is what you should be doing. You should be teaching. I was trying to avoid that for a lot of time. And part of that reason is I liked freelancing, and I talked with Chris about this. I wanted to be the high-level consultant. I really love working with clients, and I still do. And so that was kind of competing between the person that I would say the market reaction to that was so good, but yet it wasn't really what my dream was. It wasn't in line with my dreams. And I think the shift happened in 2019 when I realized, hey, even though you didn't want this, look, this is amazing. And I kind of fell in love with that just because seeing that it works and seeing how people are reacting to this. And so a lot of time, this is why I'm saying to a lot of people, you feel like you need to follow your passion, but sometimes your passion is being developed when you see something succeed. And obviously I was passionate about doing YouTube because I've been doing this on a daily basis for like 4 years. And so I was passionate about creating content, but I never thought this would become kind of my business. And so that shift happened during 2019, and at the end of 2019, at the beginning of 2020, I've made the decision to completely stop taking clients, which was, to be honest, a very, very tough decision for me because, as I said, this is something that I love doing, and this is something that I'm passionate about and was always my dream to keep on doing. However, I realized that it's not sustainable. If I really want to take Flux Academy and what I'm doing here on YouTube to the next level, I have to be focused. And Chris also talks about this when he talks about, having your mind focus on one thing, and the fact that you're doing too many things doesn't allow you to focus. I realized that to be true. And so I've made my decision to focus, only on Flux Academy, and 2019 has been a phenomenal year in terms of that business. We crossed the $700,000 per year, and 2020 seems that even though we're in the midst of a global pandemic, the business still looks like a solid business and a good business to be in at that point. And so I think a lot of change, and I think if I would look back at it, I think a lot of the things that were holding me back, to be honest, were the kind of beliefs about myself, about who I should be and what I should do. And, sometimes your dreams are not in alignment with what reality is and what reality wants. So I really was dreaming about running a tech company and running a tech product. That was my dream. But reality showed me that people need me elsewhere. And it took me a while to do this shift and accept it and love it and enjoy it. But right now I have to say I'm super, super happy and passionate about the business that I'm in. I love going to work every day and creating content for you and teaching people and helping them get results. And so, yeah, this is where we are today. And I have to say I'm super, super happy about this. And it's really funny to look at these videos from 2 years ago and think about how things turn, right? It never ends up being the journey never ends up being what you thought it's going to be. But as long as you grow and as long as you accept it, and as long as you're trying to be, I think, in line with reality and face reality, I think that for me, it ended up being very, very successful. So that's how this story ends. And who knows where we're going to be in 2 years, 5 years from now. I hope you're on your journey as well and you're progressing, and no matter where this life or this crazy year takes you, you'll find a way to align with reality and use the assets that you have to grow and succeed. I'll see you on the next video.